Hi class, my name is Kirsten Connor and today I'm going to be answering some questions regarding the movement of fashion. Let me get a little closer. So for the first question, do I consider myself a fashion leader or a fashion follower? I definitely see myself as a fashion leader. In chapter 3, the movement of fashion leaders are described as those who introduce new and unique styles before they become mainstream. They often set trends that others will eventually follow. So I feel like this applies to me because I've embraced an alternative style my whole life. I've always worn black, spiked jewelry, etc. And growing up in the South, that's not something that was widely accepted. I had a lot of people who judged my look. However, fast forward a couple of years, those same people are in my DMs asking me where I shop, asking me for fashion advice, things of that nature. So I think that I'm definitely a fashion leader because I wear whatever I want regardless of if it's trending or not. I also, when I was growing up, I never really wore name brands, not because I couldn't get them, but just simply because I didn't want to wear those because everyone else was wearing it. And also, I just didn't ever want to pay for someone else's name. So I think those two things definitely put me in the category of being a fashion leader rather than a fashion follower. So for the second question, where do I get my information about fashion and which flow theory fits me? So I usually get inspiration from either my peers, which would be a horizontal flow, or I get them from subgenres in the alternative space. And because the alternative space is not mainstream, that is more of an upward flow because it's kind of starting off low and then eventually becoming more widely received and accepted. So yes, so like I said, so just to reiterate that, I get most of my fashion inspiration from, like I said, subgenres, maybe magazines from like the 90s, like biker commercials, things like that, things that kind of tailor to the alternative lifestyle. And then for the third question, is it possible for a non-celebrity to be a fashion leader? I 100% think it's possible for a non-celebrity to be a fashion leader. Honestly, I feel like most fashion leaders are not celebrities. These celebrities have been exposed multiple times from stealing inspiration or taking ideas from smaller creators or people who they live their day-to-day life with. So a lot of these celebrities aren't necessarily creative. Like, there obviously are some celebrities who are creative, but a lot of them do go out in the streets, go out in the wild to find inspiration. They don't necessarily get that from themselves. And I also think that because non-celebrities aren't confined by things like PR or labels or what image they're trying to display, that it leaves more room for creativity and for originality, because a lot of these celebrities, even if they do want to branch out, if it doesn't fit what their label wants them to be or what image they were initially upholding when they first came out, then they honestly can't do it, So like I said, I think most of the fashion trends do come from non-celebrities. So yes, thank you for listening and have a good night.